Well, tonight we investigate something that you might take for granted, fresh and safe drinking water. But that's not reality for many communities across California.
Here's senior investigative reporter Stephen Stock. And Stephen, we're not talking about a third world country. We're talking about parts of California.
Exactly right, Janelle. We're talking about a place with one of the largest economies in the world. That's right here in California, where we found hundreds of thousands of people still living today without clean, fresh, safe drinking water.
They bring the truck here.
Esperanza Venegas remembers when the well providing water for her family dried up last year.
It would just, air would come out and no water at all.
Venegas lives with her 4 children in southeastern Tulare County, one of the areas hardest hit by California's historic drought.
Basically, we have 16 showers.
Down the road from Venegas in East Porterville, thousands of residents haven't had running water for nearly 3 years, forcing many of them to bathe in public portable showers set up in a church parking lot. Volunteers deliver drinking water in bottles. Many East Porterville residents have the water trucked in and dumped into tanks, looming like giant landmarks in front yards all over town.
I'd go out and the flowers that my dad had brought me, my sister, my mom, and they're all gone.
96-year-old Vicky Yorba looks out on dirt and mud where once green grass and flowers grew. She's more than just a constituent to California Assembly member Devin Mathis. Residents like her are also his neighbors because he grew up here.
It hasn't been easy.
For about a year now, state and local officials have been hooking up East Porterville homes to a nearby public water system, but 800 eligible homes are still waiting.
Yeah, we're in California. It's the 6th largest economy in the world, but we still have third world conditions right here at home.
In 2012, Governor Jerry Brown signed legislation making California the first state in the nation to legally recognize the human right to clean drinking water. But our investigation discovered that for many rural, poor communities like East Porterville, that promise has yet to be delivered. As of last month, 3,500 California households reported having wells that are still dry. And newly released state data reveals yet another problem.
There's close to 300 communities and schools that don't have safe drinking water.
Laurel Firestone serves as executive director for the Community Water Center, a nonprofit working to expand access to clean water across the Central Valley.
As the groundwater's become more contaminated, as we've started overpumping our groundwater sources, it's harder and harder to make sure that the water that people get in their taps is safe.
The newly released state data shows nearly 700,000 people are exposed to contaminated water at home or school. The tainted water contains everything from naturally occurring arsenic and uranium to nitrates from fertilizer and dairy farm waste runoff.
There are real serious health impacts from many of these contaminants. It can cause cancer. It can even cause death in babies after a few days of high exposure.
Are some of these communities in crisis?
They're all in crisis. I think one of the most frustrating things is if this is an emergency, I don't know what is.
We won't have done enough until we get the job done.
Felicia Marcus, chair of the California State Water Resources Control Board, says the state has made some progress, but admits that more must be done.
And there's a bit of out of sight, out of mind when the vast majority of the population lives along the coast in large urban centers.
California's Water Board was recently given authority to consolidate some small water districts that can't guarantee safe water. And it's been distributing grant money to build treatment centers and other infrastructure around the state. Even so, Marcus says many communities still don't have the resources to operate or maintain those treatment centers after they're built. Does the legislature need to step up and have a fund that helps support these kind of communities and these water systems?
Well, I think the state's going to have to make a decision about subsidizing operation and maintenance for some of these small communities because the math just doesn't add up.
That's really the question for people at home. Is this acceptable?
Back in East Porterville, Esperanza Venegas worries that she and her neighbors are being ignored.
They should come and live a day and see what we're going through.
Now, because the state data does not account for nearly 2 million Californians on private wells, experts say the number of people actually with contaminated water is likely much higher. In fact, the Community Water Center estimates the true number exceeds 1 million people. And I was just looking through the data this morning, spent several hours on it, and believe it or not, there are systems here in the Bay Area that are contaminated. 6 of them in San Mateo County and Sonoma County, 3 in Napa County, Santa Clara County, and Marin County, and 5 in Santa Cruz. If you want to see them, go on our website. We've got a searchable database right there.
Napa, Santa Clara,
San Mateo
San
County.
Mateo
Yeah.
and
We're gonna
Marin
look at that
County
list.
all
Okay.
have contaminated systems.
Wow, it hits home. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks so
you
much,
bet.
Stephen.
Thanks, Stephen.